Zach, I want to thank you for coming to camp. My name's Thad Johnson with ABC, and I'll be doing your pitching video here today. I'm going to go ahead and start with the balance position. You do a great job of really getting to the top of the delivery. One thing, one thing I would consider, okay, just to before we move on to the directional phase, is just to make sure you get a lot of movement with your feet as you drop your right foot, your post leg the into the into this the position right there in front of the rubber. You just want to make sure that your foot is always flush with that rubber. You got a little bit of a tweaked heel. Okay, it's a slight adjustment, but again, you just want to make sure that that foot is flush against the rubber, as it's going to allow you to just fall and drive directly towards home plate. Minor adjustment, and we're talking just an inch or two, but the inch or two at the beginning of the delivery is going to add up to a foot or two as you approach home plate with your delivery. So, or as a baseball approaches home plate. The balance position, ideally, what we're looking for is we're looking for a guy to be up over his back leg through the center of his cap, which you are. You don't leak out at all. You do a great job of staying balanced. Okay, so this is just going to continue to be a part of your delivery. Make sure that when you go from a slide step or a short leg and you're in the stretch, that we're not rushing. Okay, you got a very high leg lift from the windup. Obviously, you can't have a high leg lift from the stretch because guys will steal bases all the time on you. But if this is the position that I just stopped you in, this would be a great position for you to get into. You just need to make sure that, again, that with a high leg or a short leg, that your foot and your head are in line. Okay. As we move to the directional part, we're gonna make sure that our weight stays back, and the one check point that I do with all my pitchers on videos, I just take a look at their hips. Okay, tilted hips, level shoulders. Tilted hips and level shoulders is what we're looking for, and that's definitely something that you have. I like you to One thing I'd like you to do is not to rotate your shoulders as much as you have them. Like to maybe possibly get this elbow just out a little bit more. Okay, just get that thing out just a hair to kind of try to even up your shoulders so they're going towards home plate. One thing I always like to tell my guys, kind of as another checkpoint, is to make sure that their glove and their front foot are always kind of together. Okay, what this does is it keeps them in line. It keeps those body parts in the front side directed towards home plate. That'll be definitely one thing to consider, and how you do this, because you can see at this point they're moving together, but your top half is so turned. Okay, what's going to happen is as your foot gets closer and closer to home plate, okay, your top half has not even rotated around yet, and now we're thinking about rotating to open up the front side so we can throw the baseball, and your top half is just slightly behind. Okay, it's a lot behind your lower half. So as our lower half opens up to throw, okay, our foot hasn't even landed on the ground yet, and our top half is opening up. So now we've landed, and your chest is completely exposed. Okay, shoulders are opened up completely. Our hips are in a good position. Your feet, okay, great position. Everything's going forward. Belly button. This is what you want to look like at the loaded position with the lower half. Okay, kicking or driving that back leg into the target. Your front foot's in a great position. However, that chest needs to be closed back up towards the camera. Okay, you got to think of your top half as a door. You want to keep that door closed as long as possible. I'm going to back it up we'll back it up to about 2 frames. And what you see right here, Zach, is the position that you want to be in when that foot hits the ground with your top half. And what you have is you've got the long inline shoulders. You got some distance on your front side glove right there, and as you can see, you're getting in that area where it's close to matching up with your foot. Okay, so that's a perfect position with your top half. but as you can see, you haven't landed yet. All right, so right now your top half is, again, it's trying to catch up, okay, to your lower half because of that early rotation that you have on your front side when you break your hands. Um, so you need to really just work on balance, level shoulders pointed towards home plate. Get that left elbow, get that left shoulder pointed towards home plate. So when we take off, everything's in line. And what that's going to do is going to keep that top half closed off a little bit longer. And then you're going to drive through, and you're going to have that clean, nice finish. And you have a great finish through the base. Happen. You know, get yourself into I call it a loaded sway drill, where basically you get yourself to that loaded position of foot strike. Okay, so we got foot strike here, and what you do is at foot strike you put your top half in a position it needs to be in, which is this position right here. Okay, closed up front side. So if that's what your top half looks at foot strike, when your foot hits the ground, you're going to get that long stride, and you're going to shift your weight back and then shift your weight forward. Shift your weight back, shift your weight forward. We're going to leave that glove out there in front of us as long as we can, and as we rotate towards the pitch and we drive towards the pitch, you're going to rotate your chest into your glove, okay? Or your chest into your glove into your chest. A lot of guys like to try to pull it in. I'm a big fan of having guys leave it out there and get your chest, the glove. So just a really a great drill to consider working on is that loaded sway. So we're loading our weight back and then going forward as we drive towards our glove. You're just going to leave your back foot on the ground. Okay, you're going to rotate to the toe, and you're going to work on getting that top half and that chest over that front leg. Okay, and getting our head over our front leg as we release the baseball. You see, because when you release right here, look how far behind your front leg you are. I mean, you're sitting on your back side. And again, this is all a product of the lack of being on time with your top half. So, Zach, I want to thank you for coming to camp. I hope you learned a little bit here today in this lesson and are able to take some of these tips with you to make your delivery a little bit more efficient.